Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, let's go to one of my favorite places to shop for watches, Nakano. So you want to take the JR line to Nakano Station. Into the line on this particular train. All right, guys, going out the north exit, you can actually see the entrance to the Shotengai, the shopping arcade behind me. All right, so right behind me is the north exit. And I'm going to pan over, and that's the entrance. A lot of watches in there. All right, let's go check them out. This is a place that sells mainly Seiko. It's a big working clock. All right, so we'll start this journey off with some Grand Seiko. Got an automatic black dial right there, case size 36, 37 millimeters probably. And that's a Grand Seiko spring drive. Got a quartz right there, ladies' piece to the right, and down here is a quartz. All right, got some solar-powered GPS watches. Not something I'd be interested in, but if you want a watch that, you just never want to have to think about setting and always can really depend on for perfect time, that would be it. All right, a Seiko dive watch. You can see the Japanese day right there. That could be a JDM model. And the SKX line. You can see my favorite there with the red and blue bezel and the Jubilee bracelet. Some Seiko 5s. Now the one on the left, the first indices to the fourth, that section, I'm not sure what function that is. I got a minute markers on the bezel and then 24-hour markers on that gold one right there. It's right behind me, the watch company, and unfortunately no filming in there. This is where you would go if you had more money than sense, but you really wanted that new Rolex, and you were willing to pay out the nose for it. They had 20 BLNRs, they had 20 all-black GMTs. All right, what are the prices? Well, the BLNR, they had 20 of them. All of them were new. People come here immediately to flip them. And the price is 1,759,000 yen for a brand new BLNR. They've got 20 of them there. If you want to sell one, if you get one at the AD, they'll buy it for 1,580,000 yen. If it has stickers and if you had bought it within a month. So you buy it, you come here, and you'll get that if the stickers are still on it. If the stickers are off, 1,450,000 yen. So those stickers are worth about $1,300. Okay. They also had 20 all blacks. They had new ones. The new ones are 1,550,000 yen, brand new. For $1,000 less, you can get a used one. All right, so, and again, they had 20, about, I'd say 7 of them were used and the other 13 were brand new. So, people come here to flip them. This is where you come to flip your watch, and they had no ceramic Pepsi, but they would pay you, they would pay you probably $7+ grand USD if you could bring them one. So it's a huge incentive to flip watches, and it's unfortunate. People are willing to pay these prices to get these watches, and if you're a really rich, well-off person, this is where you'd come, and 10, 20,000. I mean, if you've got that kind of money, who cares? Who cares if the markup is that high? If you got that kind of money, so that's the situation with this shop, and Yeah, it's tempting. I mean, if I were to come across a Pepsi, I love that watch, but wow, you're talking 7,000+ USD just in your hand if you can get it to the shop and sell it. So what would I do? I'm not into flipping, but that would be tempting right there. All right, let's check out what other stuff is here. All right, a yellow gold day date diamond dial. Up here is the best piece in the shop, a date sub 16610 A serial that comes from about 1999. Steel date just. And over here, Omega offerings. This is an Omega Apnea, which is a dive watch with a weird timing function. Kind of weird like the Yachtmaster 2. Down here, a quartz dive watch. All right, by the way, according to the woman in there, the all black jumped in price by 200,000 yen. That's about $2,000. So that's the price increase, thanks to the realization that Rolex isn't going to be carrying it in the future. A $2,000 increase. All right, guys, let's check out this place. A BLNR. Now you can see the price is pretty expensive here compared to the watch company. They had 20 new ones at the watch company, and it was about 500 USD cheaper. But that's something you see. If they've only got one piece, usually they tend to jack up the prices. Now you can see on these pieces, they have the serial number blocked out. And that's interesting. Now not on here, not on this ceramic Daytona, but you'll see in a minute. They have it so you can't take note of the serial number. And I don't really think that's for the customer. I think that's to keep people from Rolex coming in and sort of discovering the origins of the watch. And that possibly could be a reason why the watch company doesn't want their watches photographed, because they really don't want Rolex knowing where these came from and the ADs that they were sold from. Oyster Perpetual 39mm, and somebody's reserved that. Down here, a steel date just, smooth bezel, black dial, Oyster bracelet, polished middle links. Over here is another date just Oyster bracelet. I'm not a fan of those indices, those Roman numerals. This is a day date. Not sure if Rolex did that or if that's aftermarket. Another shot of that BLNR. I think I was trying to get a shot of the engraved Rihaut, which Rolex occasionally screws up. So if you were to buy one of these at, say, the watch company, and you were to have your pick of the 20, I would definitely look for one that had a lined up Rihaut. Down here's a red Sea Dweller. .42mm black dialed Explorer 2. And you can't look at this watch and not think of Archie, the Patek World Time. Up here an AP. Omega Seamaster automatic with the skeleton hands. Tissot. Up here JLC. This is a moon phase watch. All right, another JLC. Looks like it's got a power indicator, date subdial, second subdial. Up here, looks like a travel watch, kind of like a world time. Look at that bottom part on the dial. All right, a gold Reverso. That's a really attractive watch. Has a really warm look to it. And we've got to have some garbage in here. So Frank Mueller. And this was really something like a decade or so ago, but wow, they've really fallen out of favor. And to pay that kind of money for one is just insane. Honestly, they could offer one for 500 USD, and I don't think I'd take them up on it. Hideous watches. All right, a Black Bay bronze. That seems like a pretty decent price. That could be a used piece. All right, looks like a Black Bay right there. And, the left-hand drive Pelagos. And another left-hand drive Pelagos. All right, I think if you're going to go two-tone, you really need to go Rolex. A two-tone Tudor. Yeah, Rolex are something more upmarket. And that's not a bad watch, but it just doesn't really, that aesthetic just doesn't go with the brand. That's a beautiful blue dial, blue bezel. That's my pick of the Tudors here. And another one. Can you imagine if Rolex came out with a blue-dialed sub? A steel sub with a blue dial that looked something like that. People would go crazy. I would go crazy. All right, and trying to get a shot of this dial. This is a Tudor day date. There we go.
Something I've noticed, I've been in the watch company and Swiss Watch, and both the women who helped me were Chinese. They were from China, and I think that helps because I think a lot of tourists from China with huge amounts of money are coming here, and I think those are the people that are buying these watches, these sort of marked up watches, taking them back to China. And you probably can't find them in China, but you buy them here, you go back, and wow, that's really something special to have, to show your friends, There's a lot of bragging rights you get when you bring back one of these pieces. I was in Beijing once, and I just went to this bar, and I just remember looking at the parking lot, and the absolute worst car that I could find was like a really, really nice Benz. Everything else was, exotic and, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and I realized it's not much of a realization, but there is tons of money in China. Tons of money in China, and for some of these ultra-loaded tourists to drop 2 times, the retail price to get one of these really sought-after watches is nothing. By the way, all those cars were probably the parents' cars. This club was full of young kids, and I think they were out with their parents' cars.
All right, welcome to the new price for pre-ceramic GMTs. They were hovering around $1 million a while back, but it's gone up about 2,000 USD since then. Slightly cheaper for the all black. Got an all gold GMT ceramic right there. And there you go. If you want a blue sub, they do exist in white gold. That's got a diamond dial. All right, a two-tone GMT. And look at the price, cheaper than the steel. All right, this is a Sea Dweller. And another Sea Dweller. I want to say that's a Deep Sea. I could be wrong, though. Oh, there you go. There's a Deep Sea. James Cameron. Look at the price on that. And another one. Mark Goldberg. I don't know if he still has one, but he used to have one of these. I don't know if he's gotten rid of it. All right, a black dial two-tone sub. Now that sign there in yellow says all tritium. So I think you can expect no replacement hands, no Luminova. It's an X serial number, so I'm not sure what year that is, but had to be a tritium year. Yachtmaster 1. Good looking watch, not so crazy about the blue, the light blue. All right, that is date sub, another X serial, so that should be tritium as well. Yep, it says all tritium there. All right, and an Explorer. I'm pretty sure these are all 39 millimeter Explorers. And then the modern Air King, which that's easy enough to find at an AD. So I'd probably just go through Rolex if I wanted one of those. All right, a 40 millimeter Black Dial Explorer 2. All right, this is an A serial. So it's got Luminova, holes case, hollow in-link bracelet. My GMT Master 2 is an A serial. All right, and another World Time. Well, thank goodness they include a decent strap. What does that say? Platinum. It's a platinum World Time. And there you go, the Pepsi ceramic. And look at the price on that. That is over $20,000. So that's a brand new piece, and it's over twice the price. And this is one of, I want to say, 2 that I saw the entire time I was there. So they are tough to come by. Easy enough to find a BLNR all black, but this is the watch to have. Right, an Explorer there. 39 millimeter. Yeah, it's a new one. You'll see the long hands, and the 369 has the Luminova. All right, this is definitely a ceramic. You can tell from that thick bezel. Ceramic sub, not a fan. I mean, hey, they're not bad, but if you're going to go ceramic, I would probably go GMT. Yeah, another shot of this. All right, and probably the worst watch, except for those Frank Muellers. But can you imagine buying this? I mean, for $5,000 more, you can have that GMT Pepsi. This is not a bad looking Omega. Beautiful dial, but yeah, I don't think it would hold value. Two-tone ceramic bluesy sub. Air King, slightly cheaper than the one we saw before by about 20 USD. Steel bezel Daytona. Look at the price on that, over 30,000 USD. I'm not really sure why that's so expensive. Usually they run about 14 to 20,000, even more expensive than this ceramic Daytona, which is used. New, that would be about 2,000 USD more. White Milgauss. I really like this watch. Not sure about the orange indices. Looks a little faux vintage to me. Maybe that's why I like it. All right, a very expensive all-black GMT. Now, this was the only one the shop had, so that accounts for the outrageous price. Down the street, you can get it for about 2,500 USD cheaper at the watch company. Sea Dweller tritium dial, starting to patina. The Kermit. Now, the Kermit's been at this price for some time. Doesn't seem to be changing price-wise. Explorer 2 white dial. It's a U serial, so it's got tritium, hollow in links, holes case. My sub is a U serial, so I want to say about 90s. A couple of Explorers. Look at the price difference. All right, that's because the one on the left is a blackout. Pause it and check out the indices. I should have gotten some better footage, but that's a blackout Explorer. This is exactly what I have in an A serial GMT Master 2 16710. And to the right, a 16700, just a straight up GMT. And it used to run for about 1,000,000 yen a half a year ago, and they've gone up significantly since then. All right, a date sub. A couple of date subs. All right, the one right there looks like it's starting to patina. Got a bluesy on the right and a black dial two-tone. These are pre-ceramics. Just a good, honest Datejust. Fluted bezel, Jubilee bracelet. That's something I would go for. They've got other Datejusts on offer, but that first one was the one I'd pick. Day date there. Champagne diamond dial. And with Romans. And just something different, IWC. Now, new, I imagine these would probably be, what, twice the price? But on the used market, you can see that they're not really holding their value. Still good-looking watches, quality watches, but not like Rolex. All right, now that's the price of a new ceramic Daytona. All right, and a vintage Tudor sub. They run for about 8,000 USD here. I would probably just throw in some extra cash and get a Rolex, but you know, if you're a Tudor fan, good looking Omega.
This is the third floor.
Vintage Tudor sub. Starting to patina, you can see the hands in the dial are all even, so probably all original, all tritium, of course. A little bit more modern Tudor right there, and on the left as well. Tudor day dates and some Breitlings. All right, we're getting into the good vintage stuff. Look at the patina on that. That's a Sea Dweller. A little too much patina on that minute hand. All right, and the red sub right there. Beautiful patina. Now these are $30,000 watches. Well, $27,000, but close enough. Now that's a Fat 4 Kermit, hence the pretty crazy price. All right, and some date subs, which by comparison seem kind of cheap, coming off a Fat 4 Kermit. White gold ceramic Pepsi GMT, which seems kind of ridiculous considering the steel GMT, but I guess if you want your Pepsi on an oyster bracelet and in white gold, that'd be the way to go. All right, so a BLNR on the left and a Sea Dweller on the right. Sea Dwellers. James Cameron Deep Sea on the right. Now these Deep Seas used to come with a black dial or this blue-black gradient, and I think the blue-black gradient is the way to go, but the light green, not bad. All right, it can represent seaweed. I could go with it. All right, black dial Milgauss, white dial Milgauss, Air King, 39mm Explorers, Explorer 2, black, 40mm, black GMT, beautiful Pepsis. That's straight up GMT, not a Master 2, just a GMT, as is that one in the middle. One on the right, faded bezel. Nice vintage look to it. Beautiful Coke right there. And I kind of prefer the Jubilee bracelet on the root beers, but that's a nice oyster braceleted root beer. All right, a vintage, very vintage patina Ing Explorer. What is it, 1016 probably? Yeah, it looks like a no date sub right there. And some beautiful vintage GMTs. GMT on the left and a couple Daytonas. A pretty competitively priced black GMT nipple dial. Not much for two-tones, but I could definitely go for that GMT. All right, this is a sub. Now, look at the difference between the dial and the hands. Those are replacement hands, I'm pretty sure. Okay, a two-tone bluesy. Steel bezel Daytonas. Black dial right there. And the white dial. Both beautiful. Probably go for the black dial if I had to choose. An Explorer. No price. They're apparently negotiating a price with a buyer. All right, the Tudor Pepsi. And from here, it almost looks like a Coke on the NATO strap. Down here, another Explorer. Looks like a 39 millimeter. Although I can't even tell anymore. All right, so just another shot of that sub so you can see the difference in patina between the dial and the hands. And my tritium sub is going to look like that if I take it back to Rolex for a service. I don't think they're going to let me keep my tritium hands. My luck's going to run out one of these days. All right, and a Breguet chronograph. I want to say that's what, a type 20, type 21, something like that. And $300 per item, no warranty on these. Over here, 10,000 yen, that's about $100. Get yourself a pocket watch for 100 USD. And in this particular shop, this was probably the best piece, 16,000 USD. Oh, and this, what do you guys think of this? Yeah, this is a travesty. This is an Explorer 2 Polar that's been adulterated, and this poor Perpetual as well. All right, a vintage Tudor sub. Nice patina on the dial. Matte black dial. Up here, date sub. Explorer 2, black dial. Some wear on it. And to the right, some 1601s. We'll see those in a minute. This looks like another vintage Tudor. I think that might be a smaller size. And this is 1976. It's my birth year. Seiko Turtle. All right, there are those 1601s. Plastic dial, oyster bracelet. Again, all these have plastic dials and Jubilee bracelets on these. I guess if you wanted to get into Rolex pretty much for as cheap as possible, that'd be a way to go. Some replacement bezels, bezel inserts, I should say, for 1675, and then on the right, 16710. Those are GMTs. And black GMT, beautiful, and that's an okay price. All black GMT, pre-ceramic. Kind of an interesting dial on that date just back there. Date sub, black dialed Explorer 2. You see a lot more black dialed Explorer 2s than the white dial Explorer 2s. And you see a lot of Explorers, don't you? They're everywhere. And this is a common Milgauss you see, the white dial, at least in Nakano. And we have a Sea Dweller there. Ceramic, it looks like. And kind of a blingy something. All right, just an honest date just. Yeah, I'm more of a stick dial kind of guy. Don't really like those Romans. And this is a really sought after pair of Patek Nautiluses. I think they're Nautiluses, but they're steel Pateks. And I want to say that's like a $20,000 price increase compared to retail. Beautiful, beautiful Coke. I'm into Cokes these days. All right, and Pepsi. A couple of Pepsis there. Well, I can't even tell if that's a Pepsi or a Coke. Patina. Looks like, yeah, it's a plastic crystal. Look at the indices. No white gold around the indices, just that tritium. Date sub. Bluesy on the left. Always check out those hands to see if they've been replaced. It looked like that sub on the right had replacement hands. Okay, one of the smallest shops, but in my opinion, one of the best. Nothing new here, just full of vintage stuff. Everything's all patinaed, beautiful. It's a beautiful Pepsi GMT, as is that on the right. That looks like a Daytona of some sort. Cream dialed Explorer 2. On the right, an Explorer, 1016 probably. That's a 1655 Explorer 2. 1675s. They've really shot up in price. The one on the left, that used to be the going price, but now you see them, 20, 30,000 USD. All right, a red sub right there. Matte dial, patina, no white gold indices. Same thing with that one. All right, that's a Sea Dweller. Okay, to the right, no crown guards. That's a James Bond sub. I should have gotten better footage of that. Yeah, it's a 40,000 USD tropical dial. And some subs that are probably not for sale. Fantastic shop, really good stuff. All right, some steel Datejusts. I think those are engine turned bezels, which are kind of cool, kind of retro. I think I almost prefer 'em more to the fluted bezel, although they do have a dated look. All right, so more GMTs, more Pepsis, more All Blacks, more Cokes. Now, here in my journey, I'm pretty much burnt out from watches. I'm on autopilot right now, just sort of filming. Although that is a beautiful root beer. Yeah, I've hit a wall when I start filming two-tone Datejusts. That's a beautiful watch right there, right in the center. That blue dialed engine turned Datejust. All right, and you've got some Sky Dwellers here, and I want to say that's 8,000 USD price increase. And all right, what's the difference between these two? Okay, well, there's a huge price difference. The one on the right is regular. The one on the left is a stick dial. Go back, pause it, you can check it out. Now, same thing. Pepsi stick dial right there on the left, hence the outrageous price. Regular, you see the Master 2, the Roman numerals, and the one on the left is the stick dial. So, hey, crazy prices for a little bit of abnormality. 1675, that's, I want to say a fuchsia insert. These are $40,000+ watches. These are some really, dear 1675s. Patina, red sub. I mean, you see so many good old vintage pieces that you just think, oh, it's another red sub. Somewhat significant, I suppose, Explorer 2. And that's a spider dial right there on that Explorer 2 black. The 1655, really, really expensive 1655 Explorer 2. And it's 1016 on the left. All right. Travel watch, Patek Philippe. And I used to like that watch. It's way too big. But it's really cool the way it works. And checking out just more GMTs. Now, we're about to see a really cool GMT. One that I didn't really even know existed. Now, I was looking at these GMTs. Look at the dust. Nobody's been handling them. Nobody's checking them out. You can really tell if people are thinking of buying them, buy Dust. There was Dust on my Hydronaut, the blue dial, and I should have asked for a discount because that Dust means nobody's thinking of buying it. And I totally could have gotten a discount, but I didn't. I did on the second one though. All right, there we go. We've got a Chuck Yeager GMT, and I'll tell you a little bit about those. There's the back.
All right, guys, the Chuck Yeager GMT. I've never seen one of those. That's pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't want somebody's name on my watch, but that was a second edition Chuck Yeager. They only made 150. Now, the first edition, they only made 50. And at 30 grand, I mean, only 150 of those around. It actually seems like it kind of makes sense. I didn't even know that they did it, so that's an interesting find. Again, I probably take that 30 grand and pick up 3 regular GMTs, but if you really want Chuck Yeager's name on your watch, you can make it happen for that kind of money. All right, guys, I'm out. Wow, the last time I came here was with Brandon, and I feel the same way as I did with him. I'm totally overwhelmed. Who needs a museum when you've got Nakano? I mean, the watches that I saw, wow, I mean, just from historical to outrageously expensive all the way down to fair. I mean, there's everything here. And I tell you, if you're into vintage pieces, well, if you're into new pieces too, I mean, this is really the place to go. But the vintage pieces that I saw, wow. I mean, again, it's like a museum here, but you could buy the stuff. I'll tell you, a minted person could very quickly cease to be minted here. Pretty amazing stuff. Anyway, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.